Welcome back to Think Your Way to an Epic Life. And today I'm bringing on someone that I deeply admire, Kelly Revore. She is a hyper producing realtor. She's a member of Women's Go Abundance, a coach, a leader, a woman who lives personal growth. I mean, on full throttle, guys. And she just returned a month or two ago. We'll get that date from her here in a second, from Tony Robbins' Business Mastery, which is a 5-day transformation marathon. So, no small talk today. We're diving straight into what she learned and how it's changing her life and her business. Kelly, welcome back.
Thank you so much. I adore you. I had such a great time a few months ago when you and I first met. It was like this kindred connection immediately. So I'm really excited today and I really am grateful. I know you have people at your door knocking to get on this podcast because you are so amazing. So I'm extremely grateful and honored. So thank you.
Well, thank you, because I feel the same way. I mean, I've been to several Tony Robbins events, and to have someone who's fresh from one, who's willing to share how it impacted you personally, I think it's going to really, really bless our listeners today. So let's dive right in. What made you decide to sign up for Business Mastery now?
Well, I attended Unleash the Power Within because
Mhm.
I was introduced to it through Go Abundance, which is the women's group that I had originally met you through. Was a couple of ladies there. Well, they had told me to attend a Tony Robbins event, Unleash the Power Within, in the fall of 2024. So it was about a year ago. And I took my children with me. They were 16 and 17 at the time. Now they're 17 and 18. And I took them with me, and we had such a powerful experience. I was able to get diamond seats, which is like as close to the front row as I could afford at the time without being a platinum member. And it absolutely blew me away. At that event, Tony Robbins offered tickets to a package. He called it the ultimate mastery package. And so I dove in and I purchased that package, and that is what got me to Business Mastery and what's going to get me to Date with Destiny and a ton of other things. But that is how I got to Business Mastery.
Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. So I've been to Date with Destiny. Have you seen I'm Not Your Guru on
Yes,
Netflix?
gosh, that was years ago. Yes.
I was at that one where they filmed it. So yeah, it's a crazy, crazy experience, and I'm so grateful that you're going to go there and do this. I mean, it is amazing. So, like, here you are, you're doing this, and you're signing up for this big package. What were you hoping that it was going to help you solve?
Oh my gosh, the package was not cheap. So it was a big dive into, okay, if I spend this money, I better get something out of it. And it was scary, to be honest. It was scary to write that check and say, okay, I'm going to commit to this and I'm going to get something out of it. So I was nervous and excited all at the same time. But I'm also a firm believer that the universe shows up and will take care of you when you take risks. So I took a big risk and I said, okay, I kind of threw it out there to the universe, God, whoever your being is. For me, it's God. I threw it out there to God. And I said, I know that if I take this risk, that you will take care of me. And my goodness, has he taken care of me? So that was the big thing. And the belief in myself, I did have to believe that I was going to be able to afford it, even though, it's scary at the beginning, but I knew that it would all come to fruition.
Well, it sure sounds like it has, and we're going to dig into that. What was your very first breakthrough moment at the mastery?
My very first breakthrough was realizing that I was not paying attention to the numbers. And it is so embarrassing to say that because I have an accounting degree and I have a business degree from college. And it's, you just kind of smack yourself in the face and go, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I didn't. Yeah, you smack yourself and go, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I was not paying better attention to the numbers. I know how to read a balance sheet. I know how to read a profit and loss, but what I was not paying attention to was the patterns of looking at them year over month, and then year over year, and truly understanding where my business was on a big scale.
Whew, okay, so right off the bat, for your first portion of that investment, you're feeling like you got your money's worth.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, I mean, I'm still doing that now. I came back and I have VAs. I'm fortunate enough in my business to have VAs. And I said, okay, you're going to start doing this, this, and that. And let me tell you, it was eye-opening, the spreadsheets that I was getting back. When you really start to dive in and pay attention, it's kind of an eye-opener. Might make you want to throw up a little bit. But yeah,
You have
like,
to,
oh my
though.
gosh, expenses have to be cut.
I mean, just imagine if you had not gone and you kept going in the path you were going, what would it look like 5 years, 10 years from now, right? So it's good. It's good to have that little bit of a throw up in your mouth a little bit, those moments.
Yeah, some might have more than others.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for being so vulnerable, Kelly. I just adore you. So, identity is a really big thing. What was the biggest identity shift that hit you the hardest during this?
That I was definitely playing small, that I could play so much bigger than what I realized. And I can service so many more people than I recognized. There's a big, big world out there full of, you know, just millions of people. I've really started to it's literally been probably 2 months since I've been. So I've really started to internalize a lot and go internally into my soul and try to figure out where I really want to be. It's so easy for us to wake up and do the same thing over and over because that's what we're used to doing and that's who we're used to being. But was it fulfilling me? I mean, I think I was so busy during the day that I could have, on a surface level, said, absolutely, I'm very fulfilled. But when you really take a look, and internalize and really go deep inside you, I don't know that what I was doing was fulfilling me. And so I'm right now in the middle, and I can't wait to talk to you again when I come out on the other end of this, but I'm in the middle of the journey of trying to figure out what really fulfills me, where I feel my purpose is. And are financially, what are the numbers that I need to achieve in order to get to where I want to be?
That's a lot. It's a lot of identity change. And that is something that Tony himself talks about is the hardest thing in the world is to change your identity. It's like, no, this is who I am. And you're saying it's not really who I am. I'm starting to figure out who I really am. And you're going about that in several ways. Tony Robbins is one. What are some of the other ways that you're going about figuring this out?
I have had a lot of coaches over the years. I'm a huge believer everybody needs coaching. And I believe that my coaches come into my life at the times that I've needed them in my life. So I had a coach that I worked with for a long time. It's a mutual friend of ours. Who really helped me with a lot of release work. And within that release work, and I learned a little bit about this at GoBundance. I think had I not worked with Brian, our mutual friend, had I not worked with him at the beginning, I don't think that I would have been ready to really hear what I learned at GoBundance. But it primed me for other things. But Brian helped me a lot with release work, releasing some old thought patterns that I was having and still continue to this. But what it did was it brought it to the surface and I recognize the patterns and I can help facilitate that or change those patterns whenever I have those thought patterns. But he helped me so much develop a sense of confidence within myself, an awareness within myself, which is huge. And I worked with him for probably 2.5 or 3 years to really go through in a deep dive in a lot of the release work that he helped me with. And then ironically, Tony came into my life, which I'd known about Tony for, decades, but I wasn't ready. I never attended a Tony event. I don't know, again, I don't know that I would have been ready to hear what Tony had to say if I hadn't been working with Brian. But it's really just do something, right? Do something. Don't feel like you have to do one thing before you do the other. But there were moments within this whole process that had I been my old self, I would have shut down and I would have been very closed off and I would not have been open to hearing what was being said. And I really believe that over the time, over this hard work does not happen overnight, over the work that I've been doing the past few years, I am now able to receive things that prior to who I was before, I wasn't ready to hear them. I have a very masculine energy. And it's ironic because I was literally on a call with somebody earlier and he said the masculine energy gives. So I was giving and giving and giving. The feminine energy receives. And I thought, wow, that is powerful. I am just now coming into my feminine energy because as a single mom for, well, almost my kid's entire existence, as a business leader, as a team leader, as a coach, I've had to show up and pour into others and give and be in a very masculine state. And now over probably, I don't even know if the beginning of this year, I really recognize this. So really it's been a 6 or an 8 month process where I'm finally able to start receiving and be a little bit more in my feminine energy. But I really had to go through some release work to get that done and be surrounded by other powerful women that can be vulnerable, that can show their femininity. And it's something that I never really even knew existed until I, started hanging around those kinds of people. Power is proximity. So.
Amen, amen, amen. I mean, the people that you spend time with, guys, please, and I know you hear it on this podcast all the time, but it is so incredibly true. You literally become like the 5 people you spend the most time with, and you need to pick them wisely. Most people, the people they spend the most time with, it's pretty much by default, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
tell my kids that all the time. So they're 17 and 18 now. They're like, we know, mom, we know, mom. And I'm like, man, I'm planting those seeds. One of these days they're going to grow. I figure it's going to be like bamboo. It's going to be nothing for years. And then all of a sudden it's going to shoot up. And they're going to be like, okay. Because I always say, your associations matter. Your associations matter. And they're like, I know. Oh my gosh. And then we're all Tony Robbins. And Tony's like, power is proximity. Who you hang around with? And I'm like, see. And they're like, stop. Oh my gosh.
How were they impacted? I know this is totally off the subject, and I'm sorry for my listeners, but I'm sure they're curious too. How were they impacted going to at 16 to 17 and walking across a fire and doing that whole
Oh my
UPW experience?
gosh. Oh, they loved it. Well, okay. So anybody that has teenage boys might just kind of be like, yeah, I don't know, I loved it. So the whole day they were primed, they were gearing up for it. What you don't realize when you attend your first Tony event is that there's no time limit at all. Like it's literally, they call it Tony time. When does it start? I don't know. When does it end? I don't know. Whenever he gets tired of talking. When is lunch? You don't really get a lunch break. You don't really get a dinner break. You are just at the mercy of Tony, which is fantastic. And I am sure that he does that for a purpose because
Yeah.
we can't be in control of everything, right? And he spends the whole day breaking you down, any emotional barriers, any baggage that you might have. He spends the whole day just exhausting you that when it comes to you walking across fire, it was 1 a.m. 1 a.m. we were walking across fire. So as as we're gearing up, my oldest, who's very type A, he wants to know what time and where. And he's been like that ever since he was a baby. And I was like, Clayton, you just stop. Like it'll be whenever it is. You just have to come to grips with that. By the end of the day, you're so exhausted. You're like, I don't even care anymore, right? I just tell me where I need to be and when. And so by the time we were walking across fire, they were like, I'm not going to do it. Oh, you are. But we came all the way here. We came all the way from Missouri to New York. You're walking across fire because tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're going to be so disappointed if you didn't, right? Everybody's going to be talking about walking on cross fire, how impactful it was, how amazing it was. And you're going to be like, oh, I'm so, I kind of wish I would have done it now. So they did it. They loved it.
Go,
We got
mom,
the
go.
picture. Yeah, they loved it. And what's ironic about that, Kara, is literally a month ago, I jumped out of an airplane. I went
What?
skydiving. I went skydiving. So it's another, they call it the Inner Circle. It's another coaching company that I am involved with now, talking about our coaches. And the event was like a Friday to a Sunday. It was a conference, but the conference started in Friday afternoon. In the morning, anybody that wanted to could jump out of an airplane. You had to pay extra, yada, yada. So there were 7 people at this conference. And I was like, all right, I don't do it. Like it's been on my bucket list, but I thought if I don't do it and I have to hear people tell me how amazing it was, I'm going to be so disappointed in myself. And so I did. I paid the extra money. There were only 20 of us out of 70 that chose to jump out of an airplane that morning. But you want to talk about flying high the whole weekend. If I can walk on fire, if I jump out of an airplane, I literally can do anything. I get to. So what, I'm working so hard to release those emotional blocks or the baggage or the blockage that I might have. Because my goodness, I mean, if I just look back at what I've accomplished over the years, I'm like, who is that person? Just amazes me.
And it doesn't. Why do you think so many of us people that have worked and worked and worked and grown and grown and grown, and then they get to a place where they're looked up to and they're so respected, but they don't see it themselves?
Yeah, that was me. That was definitely who I was. And I just feel like I was always chasing something, but I don't really ever know what it was. It might have been love, it might have been acceptance. Um, it, I really don't think it was approval. I feel like I always had my approval from my parents, but I had gone through a pretty nasty divorce. And so it was probably love. I went through some pretty, not great relationships. And so I think I was always just chasing love and acceptance. And it wasn't until learned to finally accept me. Again, it took some time, and it's still I mean, it's a work in process. It really is, but or progress, work in progress. But it's still learning to accept me and see my worth and my value. I read an amazing book by not doctor, but Jamie Kern Lima. She wrote a book called Worthy. I buy 5 copies every year and I give them away, and that's helped me as well. And I write little notes how I feel. If I know somebody's going through some times, I'll write them a little note, I'll give them the book. And that's helped me. I've done that 2 years now since the book came out. And, it's just learning to see the value in me and feel like I'm worthy enough to receive the good that I have created. Because there's nothing worse in the world than creating so much good and not feeling like you're worthy of receiving it. So truly not feeling it. You continue to give it, but you don't feel it. I mean, it's just purgatory.
It's so funny because Tony Robbins, I was at Date with Destiny in Florida in 2015, and he said, there's no excuse for an angry rich person. He said that there's just no excuse. It's like you just don't have any right. That's ridiculous. And so on a break, we were all outside, and it was this beautiful, beautiful hotel resort, and it was on the ocean, and it was just this unbelievable. But there were, I don't know, 5, 6, 7,000 of us. I don't know how many were at Date with Destiny. And we were all out on a break, and we were all like laying out under the trees and writing in our journals and doing our stuff. And this woman drives up, and she must have owned the hotel, and she's in her Cadillac, and I swear the lady had to be 100 years old. I mean, seriously. And she's in her car, and she is screaming, driving up, just screaming at all of us. Who the F told you could be on my lawn, and get these people out of here? I mean, just screaming, making this big thing. And I thought, wow, that is an angry rich person. And it's like, what a shame. What a shame to have the kind of wealth. I mean, I can't even fathom how much that hotel must be worth. Literally, hundreds of millions of dollars, I guess. I don't know. And she's that unhappy, and she's that, ah, because she didn't do the inner work. And so I want to applaud you, Kelly, for doing the inner work that most people are so unwilling to do. So unwilling.
Yeah.
So, what did Tony say during this last one that punched you in the gut, but in a good way?
Well, I want to address that lady just one real quick.
Please do.
What's really sad about that is Tony was literally changing lives, and her platform that she allowed for you to sit in under the trees and the grass and the beauty of that was changing so many lives, and she didn't see it. And that is a shame. That's a shame. Um, but I hope that she received some good eventually. I hope that she received some good vibes from all the people because it was her
Yeah,
hotel.
I'm pretty sure that he's never gone back to that hotel again. I would think, yeah. I mean, it is. It's just such a shame. It's like heartbreaking. And the thing is, as you start to grow like you are, when you get attacked, like you're at the grocery store and somebody just in your face and attacking you, you don't see it the same way. You don't take it. You look and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that poor person. That's what's inside of them.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
You pray for them, you send them positive thoughts. I think obviously your initial reaction is to ruffle your feathers, but then you're like, oh man, I feel so bad for her that she created a platform for everybody at that event to change their lives, and she's got that much negative energy. And I find myself doing that. I know after long days, I'll come home and I'll be frustrated, and I'm cooking dinner at 9 o'clock at night, and I sit down and I'm just like, And then I have to take a moment and I pray over my food and I say, Lord, thank you for this day because I had a day today that I dreamed of 10 years ago. So thank you for this day and thank you for blessing me with this food. And then I eat in silence because my kids have already eaten and they're off doing their own thing. And I'll eat it in silence and I'll be grateful for every single bite because that's how I want to finish. Because the old me would have sat down, scarfed my food, flipped on the couch, and sat there and watched, I don't know, probably honestly, this political climate, I would have scrolled through social media and gone to bed really upset because of the so much anger that's out there nowadays. But I had to get rid of all of that on my phone. And so now I just try to only think of my blessings.
Okay, we cannot just go past that. You have taken all the social apps off of your phone?
Not all the apps, just all of the well, most of the political. I mean, you can't change it all, but I was pretty big into politics. And then when, Charlie Kirk got assassinated in September, it got to where I was spending too much time. I was staying up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, just reading and getting all this kind of negativity and hatred in my phone. So I said, oh my gosh, I had to unfollow a lot of platforms. And now if I see any type of negativity on social media, I will unfriend them. I just kind of had to do a big cleansing. Because
Okay.
I had to get off of social media for a couple of weeks and cleanse, and then I had to go back on because it's what we do. I do want to inspire people. And
Mhm.
I had to cleanse my feed.
Good for you. Good for you. I hope people can take some notes from that. You don't have to actually get away from it all. But how was the fast for you? You did a couple weeks fast from it?
Yeah, it was fine.
How was it at first? Was it like you kept wanting to grab the phone?
Definitely wanted to grab the phone and I would go to the same, your finger. I had all of them in a folder. So I'd open up that folder and I'd say, nope, nope, nope. And then it got really quiet. I mean, I love what I do for a living and I love that we can inspire people through social media. But boy, I sure miss the days when we didn't have it. I will tell you that because it was actually really nice to not be thinking about it constantly. Oh, I got to reply to her. Is there a way that I could go through life without social media for ultimately at the end of the day, my goals of the number of people that I want to touch? I'm not able to completely get off of social media, which is okay because the platform really is great as long as I use it for good.
Kind of like our brains, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so back to my question about what Tony said. What did he hit you with that was like it was in a good way, but you were just like, oh.
So many things. So since it was business mastery, it was based all around business. And the biggest thing well, there were so many nuggets that I got out of it. Pay attention to the patterns, find out ways to bless others. The two biggest things that I got out of it that I came back and said, okay. And I went back to my team and I said, how can we bless others? What am I not seeing? I've been a real estate agent now for 12 years. So what am I not seeing? What do my clients need? So I came back with full intention to sit down with the team, dive into everything that we had going on. I cut some expenses. I said we can grow in these areas. We can put more money into this area because the ROI was there. And how can we service our clients better? I came back with a much more giving heart than I had had in a long time. You get kind of burned out and you just kind of continue to do the same things over and over. And it's worked for so long, but going to work like that forever. So that's my biggest takeaway is finding a way to serve others in a larger capacity than what I was doing.
I love it. What was the system that you changed right away?
Having my VAs pay better the spreadsheets, man. I got a ton of spreadsheets now. Every week my spreadsheets are getting updated and every month I dive through them. I now sit down with my children every month and I show them our budget. Of course, they're at that age now, but they're 17, 18 years old. They're going to go off on their own soon. They had no idea how much it costs to run a household. So we sit down, my VA created the spreadsheet of all my expenses, put them in categories, averaged them out. So every month I can say, boys, this is what we spent on this and this and this. I tell you, they eat. We spend a lot of money on groceries. This is the average bill. So if you're going to keep up this appetite, you better get another job.
Thank you for doing that. I just think that's so rare for parents to or schools or anyone to teach kids anything and they get out and they don't have a clue. So that's awesome. Oh,
And not only that, I have created wealth through real estate as well. And so through rentals. And if I were to die tomorrow, it's in a trust. And of course it goes to my parents right now who have, because I'm single. So you have to teach my kids, but I'm like, you guys are at the age, you won't get it at the age of 18. It is a little bit longer, but you guys are at the age where you need to understand it's not just income coming in. We have liabilities. And so they know how much the mortgage payments are. They know what a property manager is. They understand now that sometimes you're going to have to replace HVAC units. So it's past couple of months, we've sat down and I've literally showed them all of this. They always understood what an appreciating asset was. I can't say always. I've taught them over the years. They know what an appreciating asset is and what a depreciating asset is. But now really seeing the financials to say, okay, just because mom owns 10 rental properties does not mean we're filthy rich, right? There's a small margin because I still have to pay for those rental properties. So this is not a short term, this is a long-term play. So do not think because we own 10 homes that all of a sudden we're just rolling in it.
right. But what a wonderful lesson to teach them at such a young age. So one of the things I know you've stopped doing was simmering in social media, for lack of a better way of saying it. What's one thing that you'll do more of?
Gratitude, truthfully, and breath work. And we talked about this just a little bit before. Breath work is something truly that I just was introduced to that the 2 days after I jumped out of an airplane. I had never really done a lot of breath work. And so I'd love to hear your experience. I know this podcast is about me, but I'd love to hear your experience on breath work, but really gratitude, sitting more in gratitude and breath work as well.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so were there any tools or exercises that were really impactful?
Well, at the Tony Robbins event, any
Yes.
tools that were impactful? Oh, not really. They talked a lot about AI. So there's so much AI out there. And Excel spreadsheets. I mean, nothing might be a better question for like date with destiny, because I think that's more of a personal development stuff. Business mastery is more about business. I learned a lot about spreadsheets, about creating business and opportunities. More than anything, that's what we learned. And I did sign up for Business Mastery too to dive further into it. And I am getting coached now a little Tony Robbins event, but yeah.
In real estate, I know you're a major producer. What should every realtor be doing right now that a lot of them are not?
Understanding their financials for sure. Just because you have money in the bank does not mean that you're making money. And you really need to understand. And there's so many facets to it. If you're an individual agent, what does your average client bring in? And you do have to spend some money to continue to obtain clients. So if your average commission income, let's say, is $10,000, don't be afraid to spend $2,000 on client acquisition. And a lot of times people don't want to do that because they're like, I don't want to spend the money on that. Well, you're getting quite a large ROI in that. If you're a team leader, understanding what each agent brings to the table in terms of the finances, how much each agent makes, and how much each client costs you. Those were
Okay.
the big things. Of course, with taxes, you want to pay attention to your expenses and mileage and all that. But those, that hopefully, knock on wood, we're all learning that in like real 101. But going on a further deep dive, you need to understand client acquisition.
Yeah, I mean, guys, if you don't have a client to work with, you don't get to make any money at all. So, what is the fastest way to increase your leverage? Did he go into that much?
Not too much. And I do think that's going to go, we'll go into that hopefully more business mastery too, which will be next year virtually. Um, for me for me, it would be partnering with the right person. You can't do it alone. As business owners, we are our biggest bottlenecks. And so you have to make sure partner for performance. I learned that years ago when I was going through Strength Finders. Partner for performance, find somebody that is your yang to your yin, yin to your yang, and partner with them because they're going to help you. And you've got to find somebody that will just flat out tell you how it is. If you find a people pleaser, you don't have the right person. So,
Yeah, people pleaser. I'm a recovering people pleaser myself, and
yeah.
the thing about people pleasers that they don't realize about themselves. I want to enlighten you guys because I was one. I can talk about it. When you're a people pleaser, you're not telling the truth. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm not saying, you're an intentional liar, but you're lying. So when you're a people pleaser and someone comes and they step on your toe, you don't say anything. And then they come in the next time and they step on your toe and you're like, you don't say anything. And eventually you get so tired of it that you're like, I'm done with you. And they're going, for what? Well, you stepped on my toe every time. Why didn't you tell me? Well, because I'm a people pleaser. So really think about that if you are a people pleaser. So
Yeah, I agree.
it's a trip. So did this event change your confidence at all?
It changed. I can't say that it changed my confidence because it was more of a business thing. Well, you know what, Kara, now that I think about it, I do believe that it changed my confidence in the trajectory of where our team is and where we're going. So yeah, I will say, yeah, I do believe that it did. Personally, did it change my confidence one way or the other? No, but in the confidence that I have in myself to create a really big business, absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
Right
because I
on.
have the knowledge and the tools to do that now.
Isn't that cool? What
Yeah.
did it change about the way you think about your business?
A lot more in numbers before, and I want to preface this with saying we are real estate agents. So we really want to think about our business in the terms of the numbers of lives that we're changing and the numbers of people that we're helping. But at the end of the day, not making any money, you're not going to be able to help anybody. So it is about the numbers. As much as I hate to say it, it's not about building, it's not about like getting rich from taking advantage of other people. It's helping people, and the more wealth that we build, the more lives that we get to change. And so you've really got to pay attention to the numbers in order to continue to change lives.
There you go. So you're very aware of the community of people that you're around. Obviously, you're
Yeah.
constantly seeking out the right people, and I know we talked about that. What would you say the power is for somebody who's listening? What would you say the power is? Let's say they have an opportunity to join something like a GoBundance. Why would you tell them? And I know you would tell them to take a second mortgage out, do what you have to do to get there. Why would
Yeah.
you tell them
Gosh, this is such a great question. And I'm smiling so big right now because I have received so many blessings from the people within the GoBundance community. It is hands down worth it. As a female that was running on empty, that was trying to build a big, big business, it was very lonely. It was very, very lonely. And it really, it can take a toll on us, right? We feel like we're running. Sometimes we feel like we're running in place. We're running on a treadmill. We're not going anywhere. And you constantly have basketballs being thrown at you. And you're like, I can't do anything right. I'm exhausted all the time. I'm not pouring into my children. I am burned out. And this is just what we're supposed to do, especially if you are comparing yourself to men. And I don't want to say that there's one right way or one wrong way, but I know since I am a female, as women, we do try to keep up. And I believe that men don't have a lot of the same challenges that we do when it comes to motherhood, running households, making sure that the kids have their dentist appointments and the doctor's appointments. And there are definitely men that do. So I don't want to discount that at all. Definitely men that do. Our brains go nonstop. We're driving to school and we might pass right by the school because our brain was on, oh my gosh, should I pack them a lunch? And then you have the whole, was it a healthy lunch? And, did Mary, am I comparing? Anyways, the whole comparison thing as well. So the community and surrounding myself with women that are going through those same things, those same struggles, showed me that the way that I was feeling was okay. It gave me acceptance, which I did not have in myself. It allowed me to be vulnerable and tell other people about it, which I had never done before because I thought we weren't supposed to. And the amount of peace that I got within myself was huge. And so now I allow myself to take vacations and take breaks, which I had never done before. Sometimes on a Sunday, I literally won't work, which I have never done before. And it allowed me to show up. I'm showing up for me, which means that now I'm able to show up for my kids better as a better person. And I'm able to show up for my team as well. And if I don't take care of me first, then I can't show up for the other people in my life and I can't show up as my best self for them to give them permission to do the same thing. And I don't know if it weren't for GoBundance, I think I'd still be on running on a treadmill, feeling like I'm getting basketballs pelted in the head. So it gave it so much, just so much, just so much.
You have been on this unbelievable trajectory for how long now? I mean, I'm sure it started off just kind of, a little bit, but it's turned the corner. And how long would you say you've been since the Turner corn, since you turned the corner?
Hockey stick. It's like a hockey stick. So
Yes.
since the curve of the hockey stick, really, it's probably only been about a year to 2 years, truthfully. And it's been an up and a down. I mean, there's been, let's just say in 2013, I was living on welfare, and now I am where I am today. So over the last 12 years, I have had ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. It's definitely not been a hockey stick the whole time. But I really working with Brian to go through a lot of release work, and then the people that have been put in front of me since that I've allowed myself to receive and actually look. I go out now searching for things. I go out searching for the people before I didn't used to. So now I'm confident enough to go ask, just to hang around with people. And I didn't used to, the imposter syndrome, the I'm not worthy. Why would this person ever want to hang out with me? Why would I even be allowed in that room? And now I have the confidence to go ask to be put in. And that's still, guys, just so you know, is still hard sometimes, but my goal to myself when I turned 45, which was just a month ago, was to have the hard conversations and to show up for myself better. So it took, 45 years to really get there. And when I say the hard conversations, I don't mean like, hey, you're not doing a great job, you're fired. I mean asking for things, going out and searching and asked to be placed in rooms, going out and searching and asking for advice, going out searching and asking for their help with something, which I had never done before because I just showed up for myself. It was in the boys against the world. And so now my whole thought process has changed over the last year.
Sounds like you've been integrated, like your shadow is not running the show anymore. You're
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
okay. Okay. I could
Yeah.
see you light up. I knew I hit a button there because you just lit up. Okay. So everything that you learned with ever since the Tony mastery, business mastery, 12 months from that, how different does your life look?
Oh, it's going to look completely different, 100% different. I'm paying more attention to things than I've ever paid attention to before. And I know you've got a lot of realtors that are listening to your podcast. So in 2020, 21, 22, you could throw a dart at a house, it would sell. It's gotten a lot harder. It's gotten a lot harder now. And to be honest, as a business leader, as a team leader, I would just say, hey, just go make some phone calls and sell some houses. And you can't do that now. So I'm showing up as a better leader for my team, and I'm pouring into them, not only through the weekly huddles the daily, we do daily huddles and we do multiple um, get-togethers, meetings a week, but now I'm pouring into them through one-on-ones, which I had never done before. I've ran a team now for almost 6 years. 2016 is when I started it. I'm sorry, almost 10 years. So I started it in 2016. I had never done one-on-ones. And so now I'm able to pour into my team by doing one-on-ones to help them further their career. But not only that, Kara, I have learned so much on the personal development field that now when we're doing our Monday meetings, there's a sense that we start every meeting by standing up, getting excited, kind of doing a Tony thing. We don't jump up and down like crazy, but I want to hear the wins for the week. And I want the whole meeting to start by hearing wins for the week and everybody starting to move their bodies and pouring into them through personal development as well. I have a lot of pretty deep questions that we sit down and I play music and ask them some pretty deep questions. And I have had team members on my team that have messaged me that have said, I am so blessed to have a leader like you that can pour into us, not only through make more calls, do better, but instead help them see what's going on inside of them that might be blocking them from, achieving success. So I'm bringing that over, and it's the things that I've learned over the years and the people that I've been in touch with that literally is the ripple effect, and that's what I want.
It is amazing. And kudos to Brian. You've mentioned him several times, and he is just an amazing colleague and friend, and anyone who's looking to radically change their life should definitely look him up. So what's one thing that you hope that our listeners take away from your experience, Kelly?
Oh, this is a great question. Um, One thing that I hope the listeners take away is that who you are is enough. You really are enough. And you might be struggling. You might not feel like it. You might feel like an imposter. You might feel like you're not good enough, but you are enough. And we are all made in God's vision. The universe does not make mistakes. And so if you go out there and you find your purpose and you figure out which your value is, and it's not easy, it's not nothing that you're going to accomplish overnight. But once you figure it out and you plant yourself in the soil that is the most feeding for you, that is the most fertile for you, you are going to grow beyond anything that you ever viewed imaginable. And you have to start with believing that you are enough and you're worthy enough to receive it.
And guys, you're talking to a lady who was literally on welfare 12 years ago. And this is coming from the heart. They don't know that I'm paying you $10,000 to do this, right? No, she's giving of her time, her wisdom, and her energy because she wants you to step up, guys. So, Kelly, what have I not asked you that I should have?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Um, Go out and search. There's a ton of things out there on the internet to search. That's free. So if you feel like, oh, I can't afford Tony Robbins, I totally understand. He does give away a lot of free content. So like, not even just YouTube. Sometimes he'll give away free UPW events, or he'll give away free like couple of day events. So, but go out there and search. It doesn't have to be Tony Robbins. Just go out there and search for different personal development things. Look, we've given you a litany of people to talk to, and so or go find. You just told me about Brian Buffini and his podcast, and I've known about Brian well since my early real estate career, but I didn't even know that he had a podcast. So now I'm going to go listen to his podcast. And there's Tony Robbins, there's Brian Curtis, who we've brought up a dozen times, Jamie Kern Lima and her whole book on Worthy, Mel Robbins. I mean, you go down a huge litany of people that you can just start to follow just to feed your mind just a little bit. The second thing that I would do is get rid of the trash on social media, really. One of the things also that I did years and years ago when I first started my personal journey was I put a rubber band on my wrist, and every time I had a negative thought, I'd flick it. And it works. It works because then you consciously are thinking of the negative thoughts and you need to change them. So
There you go. Guard your heart and your mind, guys.
yeah.
Kelly,
Yep.
thank you for coming back and sharing with us. And to everyone listening, you've just heard like real insight from someone who lives growth. She doesn't just talk about it, guys. She's obsessed with it. And if you want a bigger life, if you want a bigger identity, if you want a bigger vision, just follow what Kelly modeled. Invest in yourself. Benjamin Franklin said, pour the coins of your purse, pour the coins of your purse into your mind. And Kelly has proven, she said, go to the conference no matter what it takes. Get in the room with these people. She just modeled that if you invest in yourself, you immerse yourself, you take bold action, you come out to where you are serving others. It's not selfish, guys. Self-care is not selfish. Last question. What is self-care?
Self-care is feeding your mind, your body, and your soul to the highest level that you absolutely can with positivity, good nutrition. Nutrition is key. Anybody that studied nutrition, it starts in the gut, starts with your nutrition. Just self-care is really putting yourself first, giving yourself permission to put yourself first. And so you can show up for others in the best way, because you're absolutely right. If it weren't for this self-care, if I continued just pouring into others without pouring into myself, I wouldn't be here being able to pour into others today.
Yeah, you wouldn't have anything left. We could do this forever. We will
Yeah,
definitely have you
yeah.
back on. Thank you so much. I adore you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate you.